Did you know that New Year's used to be celebrated at night when people were afraid to fall asleep? Did you know that New Year's used to be celebrated without being celebrated? They waited for it, afraid to close their eyes? For ancient people, it wasn't a date, not a holiday, not the beginning of something new. It was a test whether the light would return. A world where time didn't yet exist. Ancient people didn't know the words year and month. They didn't count days. They didn't mark dates. But they saw change. They saw the sun rising lower each day, how a person's shadow grew longer, how the cold lingered longer than usual, and at some point, a feeling arose that couldn't be explained in words, as if the world had begun to fade. The longest night. This night came quietly, without warning. The day ended too early. The sounds became muffled. Even the fire crackled differently. People huddled closer together, not because of the cold, because of fear. Because if the sun didn't return, there would be no hunting, there would be no warmth, there would be no next day. Why fire was most important? On this night, fire was paramount. It wasn't lit, it was preserved. The best branches were set aside in advance. The fire wasn't left unattended. They spoke to it. People believed light attracts light. If there was even one fire in the world, the sun would find its way back. Therefore, the fire had to be kept burning. Not for a moment. Why silence was feared more than the cold? Silence was dangerous. In the silence, you could hear the approaching unknown. It was believed that it was precisely at such moments that the boundary between old and new became too thin. So people made noise. They spoke loudly. Even if they didn't know what to say, they knocked, sang, laughed, not for joy, but to show the world, we are here. Why no one slept? Sleep was forbidden that night. If you sleep, you can't see whether the light has returned. People stayed awake until dawn, sitting around the fire, taking turns as watchmen. Sometimes they were silent. Sometimes they simply stared into the fire. It was an expectation in which everyone breathed more quietly than usual. Why they shared their last? Even if there was almost no food, they shared it. The last piece, the last sip. It was believed. If you begin a new cycle with greed, that's how it will be. But if you share, the world can be more merciful. This wasn't generosity, it was hope. Why they brought green branches in winter? The world looked dead, but evergreen trees remained alive. Their branches were brought closer to people, to the fire, to shelters. This was a sign. Life was still here. It hadn't gone away completely. The moment the light returned, and if in the morning the first light appeared on the horizon, people didn't rejoice immediately. At first they were silent, then they exhaled, then they allowed themselves to smile. The sun returned. The world went on. Life could go on. That's when a new cycle began. What remained with us? Over time, the fear went away. Rituals have become traditions. Fire has become garlands. Noise has become music. Anticipation has become a celebration. But inside, we remain the same. Every new year, we gather together, turn on the lights, don't want to be alone, hope for better times. We're still waiting for the light to return. We just call it a holiday now. New Year's isn't a date on the calendar. It's an ancient moment when a person once again believes that the world will go on.